if this stream cuts off and I'm unable to rejoin, I will not be starting a new one for today. But glad you guys could be on. I don't know how long the stream may be. It may be a long one. It may not be a long one. But welcome back if you were able to join. We ended off the previous live stream with a chat with me session. You guys were asking me some questions. So if you guys want to repost your questions, feel free to do that. Hey, King of the Weather, welcome. Glad you could be on. Technical difficulties with YouTube. YouTube told me that they are like fixing the problem. So the YouTube app it glitched and logged me out. Once I tried to rejoin, I was unable to rejoin. So if you wanna, glad you could hop back on. So yeah, if you guys want to continue the conversation that we were having in the previous stream, feel free to do that. We turned it into like a chat with me session from the previous stream. Y'all were asking some questions. So feel free to type the questions back in and we could have that chat with me session. But yeah, so three part live stream. Yep. YouTube. That's the only thing with YouTube. I don't like when they break up the streams too much. But yeah, but how are you doing today, King Weather? Did you do anything interested in the 1 minute that I was off stream? But glad he could be here. Glad he could be here. Let me see. Let me see. Did they leave the previous stream on? Okay, so YouTube ended the previous stream, I think. So that's something. No, they still have the previous stream happening, I think. It's okay. They still have the previous stream on. It'll log out by itself, I feel like. They'll like end it independently. Okay, what do we say? Welcome everybody to the live stream. It's Uniquely Mia here. If you guys were able to hop on from the previous stream, really appreciate you guys. Glad you guys were able to figure out that I started a new stream and you guys were able to join this one. YouTube has historically had this problem where it would log me out of the YouTube app, log me out of the live streams. But in the past, I was able to rejoin some of the live streams, but I guess they're updating it or trying to fix it. So for some reason now, I'm not able to do that. So this is this is the third part series for the live streams. Yeah. Well, they said, why did the lady security guard told you she was going to slap you? As I said in the video, if you rewatch the video, information is there about that. But she was probably just being very rude and disrespectful, most likely, right? There are just some people like that. But I know I made a full interesting YouTube video about it, explaining everything what happened. So yeah, if you go back and watch that, all the information is there on that video. But yeah, she was just being rude in that instance. Honestly, I feel like I don't know why she did it. Oh, I don't know what she was thinking, honestly, but yeah. Can I be a moderator? Sure.
Through the negative energy, you're supposed to leave the negativity at the door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But welcome everybody to the stream. Glad you could be here. It's Uniquely Mia. Um, I don't know what most graduates do. Do most graduates go into law enforcement research or policy work? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the statistics are with what most graduates do with the public administration or criminal justice master's degrees. Yeah, I don't know what the statistics are for that one. Do you support? But I'm sure that's a stereotypical view. I'm not one to rely on stereotypes, but I guess since I don't know what the statistics are from my university, what most people do with their criminal justice master's degree, I guess we'll rely on the stereotypes for that one and say yes, possibly that most people could go into law enforcement with it. You could do research with it. You could do policy with it. So yeah, like you could do almost anything like with their master's degrees. Once again, there are the stereotypical things you will do, but hey, if the master's degree is going to get me a job in any other field, right? That's going to pay me a lot. Sure, you'll do it. It's just getting in there first, right? So yeah, King of the Weather said you could possibly sue maybe for threatening to slap you. Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, time has passed and suing takes a lot of money, King of the Weather. So, yeah, I don't know. But maybe not, but I'm not going to go that route. But that's a good way to think about it for sure, right? If she actually slapped me, then that'll be a different story, right? But just the threat of it, it's not a positive threat, but I'm not going to do that. Time has gone by fast. Yeah, the time I've heard that too is it's the time change. It's an hour, the time change. So I guess it's seeming that way for sure, but yeah. It's like so weird. Like it's like before something approaches or before the time pass, you think it takes a super duper long time, but once the time has actively passed, you're like, oh, this went by really fast, right? But welcome everybody to the live stream. It's Unique Lamia here. How are you all doing today? This is part three of the previous stream. Been streaming since 8 a.m. So if you guys want to check out what we did at 8 a.m., we were at the gym. Just check out part one and two of the live stream. Now we turned it into a mini chat with me session. So if you guys have a question for me, a comment or concern, feel free to type it in the chat. Well, shout out to all the returning supporters. I really appreciate your continued support. For all the new people here, the algorithm new, you guys want to be in a community where you're welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So welcome to the channel. D support said, what surprised you the most about studying criminal justice at the graduate level? Well, I've only ever studied it at the graduate level. I didn't study it as an undergrad, so I really didn't really know anything about criminal justice prior to me enrolling in the program. I guess what surprised me the most is just learning. Why are you yelling? It's just about why don't yell. Why are you yelling? But it's just about the idea of learning about the history of the criminal justice system. That like street patrols, one of the most common practice that may emerge out of slave patrols. I know you guys have heard me say that numerous times, but that's a crazy thing to me, right? So it really shows that the criminal justice system is a system built on discrimination and bias. So 9 times out of 10, when people look at the criminal justice system and they wonder, how is this system not fair when it is supposed to be fair? Because the system wasn't created for you. It wasn't created for us. It wasn't created for minorities. The criminal justice system was created for white people, right? Same thing with the United States. People oftentimes look at the United States and be like, how is the United States acting this way? It wasn't created for you as a minority. The United States was created, the founding fathers were white men. It wasn't created for white women. It wasn't created for African women, African men, minority women, minority men. It was created for white men. So you answer your own question if you look at history, right? That's why I always say, um, subsequent amendments like the Civil Rights Act, right? 14th Amendment, all these other amendments, they're very important because it amended what the original founders did, but at its core, the foundation for who it was created for is still there. So yeah. So same thing with the criminal justice system there. Um, King Weather said, if she actually slapped you, you could have sued her for assault or battery. I know if she actually slapped me, she would have been incarcerated for assault and battery, but I don't know about suing. Maybe not her because she probably didn't have a lot of money, right? But definitely the facility, right, for hiring these incompetent employees, right? But yeah, for sure, for sure. King of the Weather said, what is public administration? Public administration is learning about the government from the executive point of view of the government. There's a little bit of the legislative, but not judicial is more so for law school because judicial is like Supreme Court, right? So public administration is learning about how the government operates, particularly as it relates to the executive branch of the United States government. So that is more so looking at the president. Is the what the president is doing, whoever is in power, right? Do they have the abilities given to them by Congress to do this, right? Looking at Congress themselves, saying, okay, these are what Congress people can do. This is how Congress operates when it comes in terms of passing the congressional budget, when it comes in terms of voting for specific bills, right? There's also the local government a little bit when you look at public administration, right? You're creating the budgets. Like I can be a budget analyst of public administration, all that stuff, right? Fiscal year things, right? Um, when you look at local government and saying, okay, what type of grants can be implemented? Can it be categorical grants, block grants? Like for me, if I was a public administrator working with Congress, right? And I'm like, I want the state of New York to implement this policy for me. What's the incentive to get New York to implement this policy? I'm going to give New York a block grant. I'm going to give them that block grant and it's going to say, you know what? You can spend this money however you want. If that's legal for them to do, they'll write up the paperwork the correct way. However, I want you to implement this law for me from the executive branch. Okay, bet, give me $50,000 right now or 50 million. I'll do that, right? That's what New York would say. So that's what public administration is, but it has the budgets, it has the research in there. I could run for Congress if I want public administration. It's mostly sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's working on the back end of stuff. So yeah, that's what public administration is. And that was just a sugar-coated version of what public administration is. It is interesting, like when you learn about it, when you're taking class, it is interesting because it public administration is a field, right, where it's kind of boring, I think, but it is interesting and it is relevant because whatever is happening in the government, that's what you learn in the classroom, right? So yeah. Um, what do you think of the USA? USA all the way. USA, USA. That's what I think about the USA. Shout out to the USA. King of the Weather said, with everything going on with immigration, USA, USA all the way for me, King of the Weather. I mean, what's going on with immigration? I mean, my thoughts on immigration. If you want to come here, I mean, just follow the correct pathways. If you have to come here and you can't follow the correct pathways, once you get here, there are ways in which you can remain here legally. I feel like, yeah, so that's my opinion on that one, right? Obviously, people are escaping certain situations, so they're unable to come here legally. But once you are in the country, follow the appropriate things so you and your family can be safe, so you don't have to worry about anything negative happening to you, right? But yeah, but USA, USA all the way for me. I'm very privileged to be born in the USA. My family, being my grandparents deciding to move to the USA when they did, right? If I was born in Guyana, if I was born in another Caribbean island, I would not have the opportunities available to me that I currently do have, that I have had in the past, and that I will have in the future. So you will never hear me saying anything negative about the US of A. D Support said, how much statistics or data analysis is involved in public administration and criminal justice? It's a lot more than you will guess and anticipate, right? I remember as an undergrad student, I really did like statistics. I took a statistics class and the professor was like, "You should minor in statistics," right? But I was considering it, and then I read some of the reviews from the professors, and I was like, "Let me not do it." So I tried to run away from math a lot as an undergrad, but graduate school, there's a lot of math in it. I feel like it's not necessarily hard math because we have the softwares doing it for us. It gets difficult when we have to implement our own data sets, and it gets difficult when you don't really know how to run the applications, right? Like do the do that, like get the results. But once you all that information is available online, it's just trial and error, getting used to the software. So, but it's pretty good. It's pretty cool, right? Honestly, but there's a lot of statistics. I think as an undergraduate student, um, with just psychology, I probably took like three statistics classes, 2 to 3 statistics classes, and then as a graduate student, it was doubled on me because I had 2 graduate degrees. So I took a total, I think about a four, yeah, 2 research methods each. Yes, I took a total of like 4 data and statistics class. And for public administration, it was even more because I took a budgeting class. Like I didn't know public administration had budgets. Why did I have to learn how to create a budget and all that? It's fun because I know I have the Excel sheet, right? So I know how to do it. That's why I can't throw away my notes because I have the Excel sheet. I didn't forget how to do it, but I need to look at my notebook again to remember how to like create the budgets and like get the Excel to do the calculations. But like, why was there numbers and budgets in public administration? I was like, what? Why did you give me that? Right. So yeah. King of Leather said, literally, my middle school did an anti-immigration cause immigration impact in Latino people. Okay, nice, nice. Shout out to you and your school, King of Leather. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Very nice, very nice. Hey, Pillow, glad you could be here. You can't what? What can't you do, Pillow? But welcome, welcome everybody to the live stream. Glad you could be here. We've turned into a chat session where you guys are asking me questions. Feel free to ask any questions you guys may like to they may want to ask me. As I answer some questions I may answer, some questions I may not answer, depending on how I feel. But feel free to keep them coming. Be more than happy to answer it for you guys. D Support said, what criminal justice reform issues do you think are most important right now? Most important now? Okay. If we're looking at now in a modern context, criminal justice reform issues, it definitely relates to the idea of what is it? I think it's the Fourth Amendment. I don't know. It's not the Fourth Amendment to stop and frisk. Stop and frisk, or not even that. What is it? I think it's just the Fourth Amendment. Hey Siri, what is the Fourth Amendment?
The school did anti immigration thing. So that means the school was trying to stop.
Oh, sorry, King of the Leather. Sorry, I read your stuff wrong. Sorry. I read your stuff wrong. Yeah, sorry about that. Did your stuff wrong. Did it? I read your stuff wrong. I read your stuff wrong. But yeah, having the anti-immigration protest for you in your school. If you enjoyed it, and if you What? I don't know, man, but that's a good
They
thing.
was trying to stop ban immigration immigrants. So they're trying to send them out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mom, are you sure? I feel like you're wrong. Are you confusing me? I think she's confusing me. 1 minute. I really don't. Okay. Let's see.
Limit the number of people that will come to the US. That's anti.
All right, I'm not a politician. All right, this is a question. Let's just not answer. It's too controversial right now, and I'm confusing myself. My mom's confusing me. All right. But whatever you believe in, advocate for it. Don't advocate for it. Do what you got to do. All right. But Fourth Amendment to answer this question that D support has. Let's see. Fourth, is it the Fourth Amendment? I forgot which one it is. But D Support asks, what criminal justice reform issues do you think are most important right now? I feel like one of the most important thing right now, if we're looking at just the news in general, there's a criminal justice. I think it's the stop and frisk, but the stop and frisk no. Is it? The stop and frisk is the idea a police officer can approach you, right? And they can ask to search you, right? Historically, reasons why when the stop and frisk laws were followed in the past, the reason why most people were against it and most people won lawsuits for it was because the officer did not have probable cause and they would just do that based on how somebody looked, based on somebody's skin color, right? Based on how people spoke, people religion, things like that, right? And that's not probable cause. Stopping somebody, searching somebody based on how you look just because you think they're a criminal, that's not probable cause. So if we're looking at modern day what's been happening in the media, that is definitely an important criminal justice law slash reform that definitely is relevant to society, right? But if you ask me personally, what I think is important to society, it's definitely rehabilitation and reentry. But the first part more so answered your question. Do you support?
Middle
Mm-hmm.
school. Middle school, they're like 10, 11-year-old. How do anti things?
Mm-hmm.
Protesting middle anti things going on in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
That's young. Kids should be at school and just focus on learning. It shouldn't be
Oh yeah. Yeah.
safe and stuff like that.
True. Yup. That is true. Okay. Have you seen? No, I haven't seen that trend, King of the Weather. What is that trend? I've never seen that trend before. What's that trend all about? But welcome, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing today? What did you do? What are your plans for today is Sunday? I know some people are cleaning up on Sunday. Other people are heading outside on Sunday. Today for Sunday, I went outside to the gym and then we came back in the house. I had some breakfast. I colored in my coloring book. I did all that on stream. So if you guys would like to see that on stream, then definitely check out the previous one. If you guys have any questions for me, any comments, any concerns, feel free to type in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer y'all. Turn this into a chat session. Would love to see what you guys are thinking, answer some of your questions. Hey, how are you doing? Go, Gaga. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're doing good today. Your username is really funny. You played video games today. Very nice. G is playing video games. Right now he is playing a car racing video game. What's your favorite video game? Okay. My favorite video game, I don't play it now, but when I was younger, it was a lot. I like Just Dance on Wii when I was younger. That was really fun. And then there was a game on Wii. It was Tangled. I used to play that one a lot. Tangled was fun. It was like a storybook. If you've seen the movie, like you know the different things. So in the game with Tangled, that we had that there were like levels. So you had to like it was like an all-day game with the Tangled video game. You had to like get through each level, and that game was really fun. So yeah. But Just Dance is fun. It's like kind of like an exercise too, in a game. Hey, how are you doing, Ketley? Glad you could be here, Ketley. How's everything going with you? Have you ever heard about them? Do you know what a Wii is? I don't think they have Wii's anymore. I think Wii's has transitioned into the Nintendo Switch. But I really wanted a Wii when I was younger. I never got one, but I still got to play on one. You're good at COD Mobile. I've never heard that one before. Okay, nice. What's that game about, King of the Weather? When I hear cod, I think about a fish mobile, like a fish car, but I could be wrong. Glad you're doing good, Kedley. D support asks, how do local police departments cooperate with federal immigration authorities? I don't know. Hmm. I mean, but isn't federal immigration? It's a different department. So they really don't cooperate. They're separate departments. That's what I've heard based on the media. I'm not 100% sure, but based on the media, it's like they have their own powers and their own rules, which is why they're somewhat controversial in modern society now, right? Because there's not really any cooperation. They're two different entities. They're the same justice system. That's what I have to be very clear about. Like the immigration officers, they're criminal justice, but they're really not criminal justice. They're immigration. They're not criminal justice. Criminal justice is FBI, police, CIA a little bit, criminal justice system, incarceration. Immigration's not arresting anybody. You're not incarcerated when immigration gets people. They're not arrested. They're just held because the idea if they were doing what they're actually supposed to do is saying you are here illegally, you're not supposed to be here, so you're being sent back to where you originally came from. You're not arrested. That's where the controversy I feel like comes in a little bit in modern society, because now you see what immigration, they're doing what police officers do. They're taking these individuals and they're incapacitating them. They're somewhat arresting them when that's not what they're supposed to do a little bit, right? So yeah, that's what it is a little bit. So yeah, but it's not criminal justice. And thank you, King of the Weather, for donating to the Unique Lemire channel. Really, really appreciate it. Jazz hands to you, jazz hands to you, King of the Weather. Shout out to King of the Weather. They sent 99 cents. Hearts to you. You helped me get one step closer to paying off my student loan debt. Really, really appreciate your donation to the Unique Lemire channel. All proceeds goes in its own separate account. Really, really, really appreciate it. See what everybody else was saying. Thank you so much again for that. You subscribe. Thank you, Goo Gaga. Anytime you your username, I want to laugh. It's a very unique username, Google Gaga. And thank you so much for your subscription. Really appreciate it. Definitely consider immersing yourself into the Unique Lemia community, and hopefully you enjoy the content you see. Do you do sport? No, I mean in the past, I my mom said I did running, I did ballet a little bit, but I don't actively do sports. I guess my active sports, in the summer I walk a lot, right? I go on the treadmill. So no, I always wanted to try soccer, mostly because Chloe from Bratz did soccer, so it was cool. Oh, okay, it's Call of Duty. Okay, cool. You have Zan eyes. What is that? I don't know what that is. You do wrestling. Okay, very nice, very nice. Hey, Dewan, you literally have no clue what you're talking about. How are you telling me how are you telling me what I'm saying means? You can't do that. It may sound like I have no clue what I'm talking about to you, but it makes sense to me. I could be totally wrong, but it makes sense to me. So I have a clue what I'm talking about, even if it don't make sense. But I'm fairly confident that what I said is it could be a little wrong, but I feel like it's 50% accurate a little bit. A little bit. Um can I spam? Yeah, you can spam like 3 to 4 times. You can spam 4 times, Giga Leather. Um how do language barrier affect access to justice? What? Access to what justice? You mean like justice in the criminal justice and a language barrier? I mean, if that's what you mean, I mean, when somebody's incarcerated, right, in the United States and they don't speak English as their first language, you get a free attorney. And like, I mean, there are some wealthy people, if you don't speak English as your first language, you have money, get an attorney that speak English. I'm sure your family will do that for you. But let's say low income, you don't have a lot of money to get an attorney. Generally, there's free attorneys, I feel like. So you'll probably be giving a free attorney that is bilingual. At least in New York, there's a lot of like bilingual people in New York. So 9 times out of 10, somebody will speak Spanish, right? So you'll get an attorney like that, and that's how they'll be they're affected because they won't know 100% what the judge is saying. Obviously, if you don't understand English, you'll be in the courtroom, you'll only understand your attorney, right? The attorney may not be able to translate in real time, so that's how it affects it, right? But generally, it only affects individuals negatively, I feel like, is if it only if judges are relying on that implicit bias and stereotypes, because everyone has implicit biases. Some judges have those implicit biases, and implicit biases are essentially biases you don't know you possess until you are in a situation. That's why sometimes when people come on stream and they like to say, "Oh, you're talking like a white person," or "Oh," if they say something, depending on the severity in which they say it, sometimes if I'm like, I don't want to hear this, I don't want to respond to this today, then I'll put you in timeout immediately, or you banned immediately. But some days you'll come on stream and I'm willing to respond to these individuals. And 9 times out of 10, when I'm willing to respond to those type of individuals, I often tell them, hey, this is probably your first time encountering an African American female, right? So when this is when it's your first time exposed to diversity and diverse individuals, you're going to rely on some type of implicit bias or stereotype, and that comes from the media, that comes from the media you've been exposed to, and just stereotypes you've heard about in society. So if judges rely on these things, and if it's in particular, it's easier to remember the negative stereotypes for minorities. I don't understand why. The only minority group that has the positive stereotype is Asian individuals, I feel like. Asians are smart at math. Right, exactly, right. All other minorities has the negative stereotypes on them, right? So if judges rely on these negative stereotypes, these negative implicit biases, that can cause them to see, I don't know, somebody who speaks a different language, like Latino individuals are most often to speak the different language. That's a minority, right? They'll most likely make the assumption you guys actually committed the crime, right? When you probably didn't, and give you a harsher punishment for that, right? Not saying that's true, but there are statistics for that a little bit, and that can happen, right? Okay. Yes, ask first if you can spam. Hey Tom, glad you could be here. Tom said, but you do fall into the stereotype. Black women are one of the most educated in the United States. And I'll take that stereotype. Thank you for that, Tom. And yeah, there's positive stereotypes, right? That's a positive stereotype, right? But there's also negative stereotypes that people like to say about black women and black males and just black people in general, right? So that's a positive stereotype, right? But that's not a widely believed, or not widely believed, but yeah, it's not a widely believed positive stereotype about black females, right? That we're one of the most educated in the United States, right? It's not widely believed, right? And I don't know. I have to look at that statistics. I don't even know that, but yeah. D support said, what reforms could improve fairness for migrants in the criminal justice system? Um, oh, migrants in the criminal justice system? I really don't know. I mean, diversity, right? I'm all for, yeah, like migrants. Like when you say migrants, the idea is coming in my head that like you're not in America legally, right? So like I don't want to be one of those like just I'm not saying this is what I believe in, but like I do understand that yes, people are going to come to certain places illegally because they have no choice. They're escaping a better life. I totally understand that, right? But once you are here, find the legal way to stay here, right? When I hear the word migrants, I'm thinking about people sometimes who are not here illegally or people who just immigrated here. If let's say you was, because there are migrants who came here legally, right? But they're not citizens and yet they want to commit these crimes. What are you doing? You're getting all these benefits from the country. You're getting all these benefits from the United States. You're getting all these benefits from taxpayers' dollars in the US, these migrants who came here legally, they're getting free groceries, free housing, free clothes, free stuff for their kids, and yet you still want to commit a crime? What are you doing? What is wrong with you? Why should the justice system treat you more fair when you got all these stuff for free and you still want to contribute negatively to society, right? I don't want to be that person, but that's what I believe in, right? But the only way to treat people who have diverse backgrounds more fairly is what I will reframe that question to be, D support, is you need more diversity in the criminal justice system, right? You need more diversity with judges. You need more diversity with attorneys. You need more diversity with researchers. You need more diversity with just people in general in the criminal justice system, right? The only way to totally fix something, the only way to totally, ideally and realistically, the only way to fix the criminal justice system is to break it apart and rebuild it again. But they're not breaking it apart and rebuild it again, because the only way that could happen too, they would have to break up the United States Constitution and rewrite it again. Never advocate for that. If you ever hear somebody saying, sign this, let's do away with the US Constitution and rewrite it, if you are a minority, if you are a non-white male in America, never sign that. Why? Because when they rewrite that, it ain't gonna be more positive for minorities. It's only gonna be more positive for white males in America. So never sign something that says let's break down the US Constitution and rewrite it. It's terrible. It's terrible, right? So the only way to realistically fix the criminal justice system is to break it down, redo it, but they're not going to do that. So, only other way is to advocate for more education for minority groups. Because when people have access to education more, and when education seems like a norm for people, it's going to have a ripple effect and it's going to go down and down, and people within that family and people of that demographic and people, little kids who see that representation, is by default going to go into these spaces, going to get these degrees, and in, I don't know, 50 years, 10 years, 20 years, you won't have all these problems that currently exist now, right? So yeah. Hey, we are Dylan. Glad you could be here. You look faded. What does that mean? I don't think that's positive, but I don't know. My black girlfriend went to Dartmouth. Well, shout out to her. Shout out to her. Very, very cool. It's Ivy, right? Hopefully she's doing successful now, right? Being successful. Yeah. Marry you? No, thank you. Why are you ordering me to marry you? I'm not Ella Frail. I was not cursed with the gift of obedience. My mom would have probably loved that. But alas, I was not cursed with the gift of obedience. So no, thank you. Nope. Um, Exactly, it's King of Lesson, I'm not interested. Yeah, if you guys wanna spam, feel free to ask first, and then, I may let you spam, may not. Um, D Support said, "What advice would you give someone thinking about studying criminal justice?" Um Criminal justice, honestly, any degree, but study criminal justice if you're starting at the undergrad level with studying criminal justice, study it if you are only willing to get as many degrees as possible in that field. If you're willing to advance that degree or if you know somebody, right? Because one, if you're not willing to continuously advance your degree in criminal justice, you're probably not going to get a job afterwards, right? Or two, if you don't know anybody, probably not going to get a job. So it's either the way to I feel like the way to be successful in criminal justice, you got to get all the degrees in criminal justice as much as possible, or you got to know some people to get in, right? So yeah, get another degree, a second degree that is more, I don't know, do what I did, get two master's degrees and you'll be good, right? But it is a good degree to learn about. Like, I'm happy that I did get it because it allows me to understand what is ethical, what is not ethical. I can speak to law enforcement officers. I'm always cautious. I'm not nervous around speaking to law. I'm not nervous at speaking around law enforcement officers, right? Law enforcement knocks on my mom's door. They want to come in. You have a warrant? No, you can't come in here. My mom, will she be a little nervous to tell them no? Yeah, for sure, but she's not doing anything wrong. They come in illegally. Ooh, we gonna be rich? Let them do that. We gonna be rich. It might take a while, but yeah. So no, it makes you comfortable just knowing. I feel like wherever you live, you should know the laws in that exist to protect you, right? No matter what the media tells you, right? No matter what a law enforcement officer may tell you, know the laws that exist to protect you. Tell them the laws that exist to protect you. And the minute they break those laws to protect you, United States is the country. My mom said people get rich suing people. Record everything and just be comfortable and confident and you'll be good. That's why anytime you travel a place, don't act up if you travel in place. So I always see people like Americans, they go to countries abroad and they dress a certain way and they say a certain way, thinking with their American perspective. What happens to them? They get kicked out of the country, they get incarcerated, and they want us to have sympathy for them. I have no sympathy for those Americans, right? Because who told you to go into this foreign country thinking that the American laws applies to you? It's the same way, right? If I lived in a foreign country, I'm going to learn the laws of that country. So living in America, I need to know the laws of America, especially being a minority in America. So that's the benefit of a criminal justice degree. So that's the interesting thing. And if there are any Americans living in the United States or people abroad and you want to learn the laws of America, I share a little bit about it with y'all. So go to my YouTube homepage, um, click playlist and watch my education videos. Most people have cars, so I did a lot of video about cars, right? Officers, they not allowed to search every area in your car, right? Depending, I mean, if you're arrested, they can search anything in their car. They can do that. Carol Doctrine right there, right? If let's say an officer comes to your home, right, and they want to search your car, if they don't have a warrant for your car, but your car is on the public road and not parked in your drive-through, they can search that car, right, without the warrant, right? So just depends. If the car is parked in the drive-through, they can't do that, right? So it just depends, right? So it's just very interesting. You learn a lot about the various laws and different things. That's cool in that aspect. I feel like. Do you feel uncomfortable just asking? No, no, I'm good. I'm good, King of the Weather. How are you feeling? Hey, hanging with Anna. How are you doing today? It's been a while since you've been here. How's everyone feeling today? Glad you could be here. Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad? No, that name sounds familiar. Did somebody recommend that to me before? I don't know. I've never read that before. Hey Eric, it's been a while since you've been on stream. Thank you, thank you. Glad you like my nails. We've had two breakage, but don't worry, it's gonna be growing back very soon. How are you doing though? Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Glad you're feeling comfortable in that. Very nice, very nice. D support said, "What's the most shocking statistic you've learned about crime?" No, what's the most shocking statistic about crime that you learned? Um, about crime? Hmm. Shock statistic about crime. that America's a white country and that most people incarcerated are not white. So yeah, it's not to say that, and that's how you know bias exists right then and there, right? Because America, they disproportionately incarcerate African American individuals, right? How are you telling me in a white country most of the people who are incarcerated are not white? That doesn't make sense. It's not to say these other races commit crimes more often. That's not true, right? It doesn't mean this one race of people is more genetically inclined to commit crimes. That doesn't make sense. That's not, crime isn't genetic, right? Well, no, there are some serial killers. They have a history of that. But generally, crime is not genetic, right? Generally, right? Um so it's just showing that the minorities receive harsher punishments, right? Let's say you have a white teenager and a black teenager, right? The white teenager, they were drinking and driving. The black teenager was drinking and driving, right? 9 times out of 10, the judge is going to see the white teenager. They're going to give them some community service, let them off with a warning. The black teenager, they're going to be incarcerated for a few months, right? How's that fair? It's not, but harsher punishments, right? So just different things, just different things, right? And then another thing, what's another one? There was another one in my head, but I forgot. There was another interesting statistic that I wanted to say as well, but I honestly forgot about it. But how's everyone doing today? Glad you could be here. I hope you're learning something from me answering these questions. I feel like it's a little educational. Um, but yeah, you guys can ask me a question related to anything. You ask me criminal justice, something is happening in the world, depending on what you ask me what's happening in the world, I may answer, may not answer. You can ask me, I don't know, about fashion, nails, hair, shopping, travel, anything at all, guys. Yeah. But welcome, guys. I live stream on Mondays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturday and Sunday, I'm sorry, between 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we went to the gym, started out strong at the gym, then we came back in the house, ate some breakfast. Now we're just having a chat session. This is G's, I think. His Lego man. I'm surprised he plays with Legos. It was honestly only my nephew who played with Legos. I didn't know he played with it, G. Um, D Support said, "What do you expect to learn during your PhD program?" I mean, okay, so the first year it's just gonna be classes, right? I'm sure it's just gonna be a repeat of what I know, and they're gonna teach me some new stuff. I know that for sure, mostly about the statistical modeling. But I feel like after the first year, that's where you more so transition outside of learning, I would think, into creating the information. So I feel like it could be a little more fun. I mean, school's never really fun, but I feel like it could be fun because like at that point in time, I feel like I'll be like creating the research things of it. It'll be less like, okay, this is what this scholar said, and more so saying, okay, how can we work on these projects together? How can we collaborate on this and get this new perspective? So yeah, I feel like the first year, obviously, I'm sure I'll be learning about like new statistical modeling softwares. They always got to make something challenging and hard. So I'm sure it'll be some hard stuff in there for sure. But after that first year, I think it's more so going to be about how can I create this research and how can I get started on just contributing to the criminal justice system and pursuing my research interests, which could be pretty fun, honestly. So yeah. And as always, I will update you guys along the way, right? I mean, the live streams will diminish or decrease in 2026, right? So this 4-day live streaming schedule is not going to stay for the whole of 2026. Once I start the new degree program, I'll probably stream mostly just on Saturday and Sundays, perhaps on Fridays, but mostly just Saturday and Sundays. You'll have those streams, right? But I'll still make the full nutritional YouTube videos and stuff like that for y'all. King Mother said, "So far, the chat has been good." Okay, nice, nice. D Support said, "How did you think your PhD will change your understanding of people?" I don't think it's necessarily going to change anything because I don't think the PhD is going to be do much teaching, right? So, I think what it's going to do for me is just going to allow me to pursue my own research and make my own contributions to the field of criminal justice, right? Because, like I always said, I read a lot. Like I'm everything that I'm telling you is just reiteration of what prior scholars have said and what they think is going to fix the criminal justice system. But obviously, I don't want to say they're wrong, but obviously it's either wrong or it's either they did not take strives to implement these changes, right? So I have a lot of ideas just on based from undergrad and writing these papers saying I think this could be implemented to possibly make this better with the criminal justice system. So it's like me providing those recommendations, the same thing that scholars have done. But I also want to try and go that extra mile, right? Of like going to the correctional facilities, going to the police departments, probation officers, right? Community centers, and trying to implement that myself to see if that's possible, right? And if those those law enforcements will be more receptive to taking that information in there, right? So I don't think it's necessarily going to change my understanding. If anything, it can make me understand it a little bit more, a little bit. So that's why. What research topics are you interested in exploring? So yeah, mental health among offenders, rehabilitation, more so for that rehabilitation, reintegration, looking at seeing if there's any mental health lacking, right? Or not lacking, but high mental health areas, and see if there's any stuff already implemented there, and see if we can implement some, I don't know, what is it? Positive programs there, and see if that encourages mental health treatment, and to see if that encouragement of mental health treatment decreases crime in this area. So, yeah, just mental health among offenders, rehabilitation, reintegration, community practices, right? So like that. So it's like I did a presentation on it. I posted one of my videos, so you can see it. Go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and go through my education playlist. I think I posted a presentation where I was practicing one of my presentation for classes about, is it ethical to incarcerate individuals with mental health conditions? If you guys want to learn a little bit more about my research interests, that is a great presentation to watch, right? Because that was a paper that I did enjoy writing about, and I guess I did a really good job because my professor invited me to lecture in her class about it. So yeah, that's a good one to go and watch that one. But I'm sure I can make, if it's not there, if you guys want me to make a follow-up video, I could definitely do something along the lines and do that, make a follow-up video about it for sure. But it's mostly just using all my degrees right, because like I have all these degrees, right? So I know a little bit about policy implementation, a little bit about that. So it's just like criminal justice will allow me to, okay, research something that my mom says I enjoy, and I do enjoy it. So allow me to research stuff that I enjoy, but at the same time, hopefully use my public administration degree as well, and take the knowledge I know about policy implementation and turn that into policies, and take it out of the research standpoint and actually be able to turn it into these policies, right? So yeah. Um, what methods? More so about just quantitative methods, learning a little bit more about that. I know a lot about, I don't, okay, I say a lot, I don't know everything about qualitative, but I know enough about qualitative. But qualitative is pretty easy to learn. I feel like it's just like, oh, qualitative research, let me go to the library, get a book. Quantitative is more so for those statistics, right? The data analysis. I'm good at it, but I always have to like practice. It's a learning curve for me for that one. So just learning about the new softwares, the tools, and getting much better at that can be helpful, because I can use it in any other career, right? Outside of academia, right? When you go to the places, the business place that will pay you a lot of money, they use the research tools too to do the data analysis, right? So that'd be cool to learn some of those skills too, more transferable skills. I'm all about acquiring transferable skills, guys, that you can use almost anywhere you go. So that'll be the cool thing, good thing for sure. So that's the exciting part right there. So yeah, what career do you hope to your PhD will lead to? You guys will see once I get the PhD and as I work in it, work on that pathway for sure. Obviously, if you Google PhD, there are stereotypical things you can do with it, but there's a lot more things that I plan to do with my PhD. I'm intentionally not set telling you guys, because I feel like sometimes when you tell people too much about what you want to do with this, not say you guys are gonna put bad juju. I don't think you're gonna put bad juju on it, but when too many people know what you want to do, that's when your stuff actually does not come to truth, right? So since I do not have the PhD yet, I've just been admitted into the program, which is really awesome accomplishment in itself. But since I don't have the degree yet, you will know what I do with the PhD once I get the PhD, and if I choose to share that with you. So subscribe and never unsubscribe, and you guys will figure it out one day. King of the Weather said, "What do you do on Sundays?" So on Sundays, King of the Weather, I go to the gym on Sundays, and then some Sundays my mom and I go outside. Sometimes some Sundays we don't go outside. This Sunday we're gonna stay inside. Normally my mom cooks on Sunday, so yeah, this is why we need summer. When it's summertime, we could go for a walk on a Sunday. We could go on the ferry on a Sunday. When it's cold outside, who want to go outside and stand up in the cold? Like what? So yeah, in the summertime when it's Sundays, I'm sure we'll be outside a lot more. D Support said, what advice would you give to someone considering a PhD? be committed to enrolling in a program where you know you got to do work, right? I'm not nervous about the work. Obviously, there are certain milestones that you have to get through, so that's a little nerve-wracking, but I know I will work hard. God is going to be with me with a positive mindset. I was like succeed and come over those nervousness and those hurdles that could push me back or would push me back, but it's not going to push me back, right? So, but I feel like what advice you have to consider when you get a PhD is saying, okay, is it a funded program? I always said I'm never going into a PhD that's not fully funded, and and my PhD is funded for me, right? So you should never pay for a PhD. I mean, if you want to pay for it, go for it, but just know the vast majority of people, if it's a good PhD program, they're not paying for it. It's like a free education, and mine is a free education, right? So make sure it's fully funded, make sure it's something that you're interested in researching, and don't lie, right? Don't I mean, obviously, when you complete interviews, if you want to get admitted, sugarcoat a little bit, but don't lie and say this is something you want to research when you actually don't want to research it, because it's a long time, right? Obviously, once you get over the certain like qualifying exams and stuff, you can move a little faster, I would think, but you have to be committed to the topic you are researching, because you're going to be researching it for a few years, like 3 years. No way, I can't finish in 3 years. That's just not realistic, right? Even though how fast I work, I feel like I could finish it early, but not 3 years, right? So you just be committed to saying, okay, this is something that I want to research. And the location is very important too, because I've always said, like, if I were to get a PhD or another degree, right? PhD, I'm like, okay, I already know it's long by default, but the location was very important to me too, because I spent a long time away from home, away from my mom as an undergrad. And I was like, if I have to do that again, I have no choice but to do it. It's a free education. Am I stupid to turn down a free education? No, I'm not that. I'm not stupid. So I would never turn down a free education, right? But just know if you're home for a long period of time, that's going to be an impact and factor too, right? So yeah, just know that, make sure it's fully funded. Location is very important. The topic in which you want to study is very important, and have a somewhat idea on what you want to do with the degree after. Because remember, no matter what degree you get, no matter how prestigious the degree is, there is a chance that you may not get a job after with the degree. But at least y'all will call me doctor if I don't get a job after with it, right? So just be committed to get it, and yeah, because no degree is like a guarantee you'll get this for sure, right? If anything, my master's degree shows that, right? I got two of them and I got really good grades in them. I mean, I can't say it's not doing nothing for me. It got me admitted into the program, but where's the big bucks with my master's degrees? It ain't here yet, right? So just be committed to it and you'll be good. Hey Rip, how are you doing today? Want to know how to get rich? Sure. And get views, subscribes, and famous? Sure. How do you do that, Rip? King of the Weather said, no, she's not interested. She's famous already. Yeah, according to the definition of fame, I am known by many. That is the definition of famous, known by many. Guys, I have like more than 10,000 people know what my face look like. More than 10,000 people know what my mom's face looks like. That's crazy to me. We don't even know 10,000 people. I mean, okay, we know 10,000 people because you guys subscribe to us, but like where we see 10,000 people, that's crazy, right? So we're not famous in terms of being wealthy. Fame and wealth, I often thought they were correlated together, but they are not correlated together. That's why I say every part of social media, everything you do is a learning aspect. Because when I was younger, I always thought if you were famous, you would be automatically be wealthy, like money wise, like super duper rich, wealthy. I'm fame. I'm somewhat famous because I'm known by many. 10,000 people, that's a lot of people to me, right? I'm not A-list level famous, but 10,000 people? Yes, I'm poor and famous, right? Like, that's crazy. I'm not super duper rich and wealthy. So that's crazy, guys. Hey, Grayson, how are you doing today? Glad you could be back here. What does happiness mean to you? My mommy. That's what happiness means to me. But yeah, I mean, like, my mom makes me happy. Sometimes she's mean to me, but my mom makes me happy. Money makes me
Money makes you happy.
traveling makes me happy. Sometimes buying clothes makes me happy.
Making your supporters
Yeah, my supporters make me happy for sure. Social media makes me happy. I like social media. That's really cool. So yeah, a lot of stuff makes me happy. But that's a list of a few things. My nails make me happy. So yeah. King of Weather said, hello. Um, hello, Gray. I'm King of the Weather, Mia's Weatherman. Welcome to the community. Yup, exactly. Thank you so much for the love, Thrift. Really appreciate it. How are you doing today? What do you feel? Sorry. When do you feel the happiest in your life? When I'm with my mom and we're on a trip. Like my mom and a trip, both of us on a trip together, I'm the happiest ever.
Don't forget
Yes, Stu too.
G.
And G. But we are going on a trip without G soon. I'll be happy too. But like, yeah. So anytime I'm on a trip and I'm with my mom and the other uniquely Mia family members, I'm the happiest ever. You can't make me mad. You cannot do that. So yeah. Okay, what makes me mad is people not sticking to the itinerary, I will say. I will say, and like lateness. If you want to move slow in an international country, what is wrong with you? Like, no, you're losing daylight. They're gonna close on us. That makes me upset on vacation, I will say. Grayson said, how do you know that you're famous? The definition of famous is known by many. And I do know the idea known by many is subjective. So for me, I am not A-list level famous, but I have about 6,000 supporters on YouTube, and I have about 10,000 support no, 6,000 supporters on YouTube and about 4,000 supporters on TikTok. In total, that's like 10,000 people. It might be around 11,000 now if I actually go in with the numbers on like how many hundreds follow as well. So 11,000 people to me is insane, guys. If I ever had a meet and greet and I sold a ticket for $1, I would have more than $11,000. That's a lot of money. If all my supporters came from both platforms, that's a lot of money. So yeah, I guess I'm Z level famous, but 10,000 people, 11,000 people is a lot of money for a dollar tickets. That's a lot of people, guys. So yeah. D support said, can someone be successful but still unhappy? I guess, yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because happiness is subjective, I feel like. But yeah, that can definitely happen. Yeah. Because, like, I mean, some people can have a lot of degrees, right? But they have no job, they have no money, they have nothing to do. The degrees will make them successful. But yeah, I can't be happy because my degrees can't buy food. The degrees can't buy vacations. The degrees can't buy super fancy designer handbags. Right. So, like, that can definitely happen. Right. So, yeah. What do you do on trips? I immerse myself into the culture of what's happening around me. We go to museums on trips, we go to malls on trips, we eat food on trips, we buy souvenirs on trips, we take a lot of videos and pictures, we live stream a lot on trips. So, yeah, we enjoy the happiness on trips. We don't want the trips to end when we're on trips. So, yeah, that's what we do on trips, King of the Weather. If you guys would like to see Unique Lumia or Queen Mother or anyone else in the Unique Lumia family on any of the trips, go to my YouTube homepage and click playlist. You can see us in Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Guyana. We spent some time in the Trinidad and Tobago airport. We have some videos on a cruise, some videos on New York, some videos in Las Vegas slash the Grand Canyon. So yeah, there's a lot of videos with us on trips on the Unique Lumia channel that you guys can check out. Grayson said, what do you hate? Karens or road rage? I've never experienced road rage, honestly, but what do I hate? Hate is a very strong word. What do I hate? I guess Karens, because what do you mean you're choosing to like be discriminatory and racist and using your white privilege like that? Like, it's crazy. So it have to be Karens for sure, honestly. And if your name is Karen, I'm not saying I hate you. I'm saying I hate the name that was created for people who are like racist and they choose to be racist, particularly females. They call them Karens, right? So if your name is Karen and you're not racist, I don't hate you. But if you're a Karen who chooses to be racist and discriminatory, right? What are you doing, right? And I don't even hate that person because like that takes thought to hate somebody, right? So I don't even hate that person because like when you hate somebody, you got to think about them all the time, right? You really got to care about them, right? That's how if you hate, like I strongly dislike those people for sure. Hey, how are you doing, Memphis? It's been a while since you've been here. Oh, you're new. I have another supporter who's called Memphis on the channel. Welcome, welcome, Memphis. How's everything going with you? I'm Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia, and the algorithm knew you want to be part of a community where you're welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So recommend the channel. Glad you could be here, Memphis. Right now it's a chat session. I have 17% of my phone, low battery mode. So feel free to keep on asking me questions. My phone is very good at holding battery for a while. So I think the 17% 100% at low battery mode. Should last like a maybe another 20 minutes. So yeah, keep asking the questions. I'll be more than happy to answer y'all. Right now it's a chat session. So you can ask me a question related to anything public administration, criminal justice, what happened in the world, travel, eat with me, fashion, nails, a lot more. I'd be more than happy to answer it for y'all. King of the Weather said, what advice do you give with huh? Give someone okay who wants to start a YouTube. If you want to start a YouTube channel, my first advice will be go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my YouTube tips playlist videos. And after you did that, only start the YouTube channel if it's something that you want to do, right? Don't start the YouTube channel with the idea that you're gonna get rich quick. That's not gonna happen, right? There are some, or you're gonna get a lot of supporters quickly. Because I can tell you, having supporters does not necessarily equate to income. Shout out to you guys. Because of supporters, I am making some money off of YouTube, but it's not money to plan a vacation. It's money to buy groceries if I budget shop, but that's not gonna last long, right? It's snack groceries, right? So when you start a YouTube channel, have the idea that you are gonna post content for you that you genuinely enjoy and content that you find to be interesting, right? Because for me when I started YouTube, I posted content that I found interesting, that I found that I enjoyed, and I still do it now, right? Still do that. Obviously if you guys have any content you want to see from me, let me know. I'll be more than happy to post videos about that for you guys, right? But because what can happen is you can post videos for years and years and years and there'll just be like two people watching it, five people watching it. What are you gonna do then? Are you gonna quit because, "Oh, I thought it was easy and nobody subscribed to me." That means you didn't start YouTube because you genuinely just wanted to do it. You started it because you thought it would be really easy to get a lot of supporters and a lot of views, and it'll make a lot of money quickly. Bad mindset right there. You can't do that, right? So, I guess I've never owned a business, but I guess YouTube is a business in a way too. So, I guess I would imagine if you own a business, you're gonna invest a lot of money, right? And there's a likelihood that for the first year nobody's going to come in. Are you going to quit, or are you going to continue to find new ways to market your brand to make new money, right? So YouTube is the same way, but instead of you investing money right off the bat, there are some people who will buy a vlogging camera right off the bat. I never did that. I still don't have a vlogging camera. The only reason why I really haven't gotten a vlogging camera yet, because my views on my full nutritional YouTube videos has not really been up there. It's there, but I feel like if I get a vlogging camera, I can justify it if I know I'm going to Guyana very soon, because Guyana is where my views go crazy for my videos. But yeah, but I still don't have a vlogging camera. But I did get a better phone. My mom did buy me a better phone for the live streams, because live streams, you guys like the live streams. The views are there for the live streams, right? So that's why that investment was made, right? But for me, when I first started YouTube, no investment was made. My investment was creating a YouTube channel, creating my design, right? Just recording videos, learning how to edit, right? So it was kind of free for me to do that. I really didn't lose money right off the bat. It was just the idea of investing this time and I'm not making anything, right? But I enjoyed it. So yeah. Um, what makes you feel grateful in life? What makes me feel grateful in life? Grateful? I don't know. I guess the support of my mom is good. That feels grateful. Um, I don't know, the ability to travel and just pursue educational opportunities when I can do that, because I know not a lot of other people have those opportunities, right? So yeah, I feel like just I feel grateful, honestly. Yeah, just to be like, yeah, it's 10,000 supporters that people decided to subscribe to the channel. Just I feel grateful for being uniquely Mia, right? Being uniquely Mia who exists in 2026, right? Because if I was uniquely Mia who was born multiple centuries earlier, I would not be here. I would be eliminated when I open my mouth. The first time I open my mouth, right? Because it was a male dominated society. Or because I'm a black female in America, right? Or if I was born in another country in the year if I was born in another country. Oh, yeah, for sure. Or if I was born in another country, right, and I still exist in the year 2026, I would not have the opportunities available to me that I have currently, right? Yeah, the opportunities to pursue education, the opportunities to travel, the opportunities to have a YouTube channel, right? Yeah, I'm grateful for the support of my family members, uniquely me a family. It's a great support system, but in particular, my mom. I'm really grateful for my mom in particular, right? Because without the support of my mom, I mean, I don't, I feel like I would have accomplished what I accomplished, but literally maybe not as much as I would have accomplished, right? I would have to live through struggle culture, right? It's like the other day we went into like a particular office, and we went to this office. You saw a lot of people, right, who is receiving the governmental assistance. And you need the money. The government is doing something, right? At least let them do it. But it wasn't a pleasant environment. When we left the office, I had to thank my mom. I was
We went with somebody.
yeah, we went with somebody. It wasn't for us. We went with somebody, right? To help them do the
That's your
paperwork,
first
right?
day.
And it was my first time ever going there. And when we left the office, I looked at my mom and I was like, thank you, mommy. I was like, thank you for saving your money. Thank you for working hard so we never had to experience that, right? Because it was a terrible place to be and I really did not like it. And I'm able to say that now, and I'm able to have the privileges I have now of just streaming, right? Of being able to have a few months off and just like do nothing or or work on what I want to work on my books that I want to work on, have the ability to travel, have these awesome adventures before I start a degree program because of the support of a unique Lemia family, but most importantly because of the support of my mom. Because if it wasn't for my mom advocating for me, if it wasn't for my mom telling me don't feel bad, just enjoy your time off, it wouldn't be thing. And Stu is also a big help too, right? So yeah, so if it wasn't for both of them to make my life easier, as my mom liked to say, it wouldn't be positive. It wouldn't be a positive experience, right? So all the privileges that I'm able to quote unquote enjoy, the opportunity to say, okay, I'm saving my money. I can put my money here. So when I go on this adventure, I can spend it this way. It's because of my mom. It's because of Stu. It's because of the support of them that I'm able to do that. Because not a lot of other people are able to say, oh, I don't want to spend my money on this. I want to save my money so when I go here, I can spend it however I want to spend it on. That makes no sense. What? But it makes sense to me and my family because of the support system I have. And I do understand that as a privilege to be able to do that. So yeah, it was really awesome. So that's what I'm grateful for, honestly, in my life, right? As I always say, I'm not a Nepo baby, but we all have we have different levels of privilege, and I don't have a lot, but I'm using the privilege that I do have. Right? And I'm gonna take full advantage of the privilege that I have, and I'm not gonna feel bad for it, even if other people would like to make me feel bad for it or call me lazy or whatever. I don't care. Say whatever you want to say, honestly. D support said, "What do you do when you're feeling down?" I do my nails. Um, sometimes I talk to my mom, but sometimes she gets it, and it's not helpful. It's not annoying. It's annoying sometimes. So I mostly do my nails, or I just read a book for fun, right? Or I just mix something together. I've gotten over that. When I was younger, I could never be in the kitchen by myself. I'd always mix a whole bunch of stuff together. It used to be fun, but now my mom's gonna make me wash a whole bunch of dishes if I do that. So I just stopped doing it. Honestly. Hey Adventure Canada, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. What do you do when you're in the studio? So when I'm in the Unique Lumia studio, I like to live stream King of the Weather. I also like to do my nails. Sometimes I post unboxings, full nutritional YouTube videos. So yeah, I'm only in the Unique Lumia studio when I live stream or when I have to record videos, which reminds me I should record an education video sometime very soon. You guys got one video since I've been home. You'll get a lot more when I start back in like in a new academic program because it's much more easier for me to make education videos about content in which I'm actively learning. So you'll get a lot more then too. Thank you so much for your love. Really appreciate it. Um, do you think happiness is a choice? A little bit. I know. I guess a little bit. It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it. And let me clarify. So, do you support, do you think happiness is a choice? So, yes, I think happiness is a choice, but I do not think happiness is a choice. Because imagine this, imagine if you're homeless. Right, and you didn't choose homeless. There's some people who choose homelessness. I'm like, why would you choose homelessness, right? There's some. That's crazy, dude. But there's some people who choose homelessness. If you're somebody who was forced into homelessness, or unhousedness, how in the world can you be happy? You're sleeping on the ground, you got no food, you're starving. Oh, I'm gonna choose to be happy even though I'm starving and I'm freezing cold. What? I don't think that's a choice right there. But I feel like if you're not unhoused, if you're not homeless, right? And
What about somebody house, but they got a couple of $1 million in the bank? So you see them as though like
oh
they're
yeah.
suffering, but their
Yeah. So that's
warmness is knowing the amount of money that they have in the bank.
that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so
Choose
yeah, so what my mom said is valid. So that in that situation, that makes them happy, right? But I feel like if you're somebody who's just like, I guess, a regular individual like myself, I'm not. I don't think anybody should think they're regular, think you're the best person. But like I feel like if you look at me, who's somebody who's not wealthy, who's just a regular, I'm not regular, I'm super duper awesome. But somebody who's just like a human being existed in the world, right? I feel like sometimes you choose happiness depending on the situation in which you're in. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like my mom often says she sacrificed a lot for her kids, right? Like my mom said, oh, she had the option to get herself a Gucci bag that she really loved, or she had the option to send her kid to summer camp. She would sacrifice her happiness, I guess, not getting the Gucci bag, send your kid to summer camp. Now, me, I'm getting myself a Gucci bag. You can have summer camp in the house, right? So, yeah, I guess in that situation, it's easy to choose happiness. It's easier to choose happiness, but it's not. But okay, the bag was a very, very bad example. Another okay, my mom never did that, but the bag's a very bad example. I guess another example is this. My mom has done it in the past numerous times. Get your kid designer items or buy yourself a designer item. My mom will get her kid designer item. The amount of times my mom, mostly all designer items I have, guys, like I only bought myself one. My mom, she bought me all of the other ones. I am grateful for them, right? But I didn't ask her for it. Once I heard the price, I'm like, "Mommy, you get yourself something. I don't want it." Like I told her that, but she still gets it for me, right? In that situation, I'm like, you should have chosen your happiness and get yourself the Gucci bag because after she will go into the Gucci store, she will see the bag and she's like, "Oh, I want the bag." And sometimes she'll have the money, but she doesn't get the bag, right? Or like it's thin.
When she makes her kids
And that's what I'm
happy.
saying. So that's true too. So my mom is happy when she makes her kids happy, right? So that is my mom choosing happiness. But at the end of the day, she still wants the bag. And now she's looking to other people to get the bag for her. So I'm like, what type of flawed mindset is that a little bit, right? So that's what gets me annoyed sometimes. So that's the thing. My mom's happiness is two different things. My mom's happiness is getting her kid the designer items, but my mom's happiness is also wanting the bag too, right? But once she does this one thing, she still wants the bag, but yet you spent your money now, right? So that's what I'm saying. Happiness is a choice, so you gotta choose very wisely, right? You gotta choose wisely. So honestly, yeah. So it's like critical. I feel like that's why what is it? It's like when you write papers. No, it's like when you have to make a very important decision. A pros and cons list is listed. I feel like people often see that when they have multiple options available to them for school for like undergrad. Like me, when I was choosing my undergrad, my mom and I we didn't create a pros and cons list, but we did it a little bit. It wasn't an official list, but we spoke about it. But a pros and cons list is like similar when you're choosing happiness. Create a pros and cons list. What is the pros of this university? What is the cons of this university? Compare it and you choose the one that gives you the most happiness. So like I guess my mom does that for herself. She's like, oh, getting my kid a designer bag and a designer shoes that could give her the most happiness, but she don't need the bag now, right? So it really does depend, honestly. It really just depends.
You know how I look at it? I look at it like
Mm,
I am the mother, right? I chose to have my children, right? And my job as a mother is to be the best mother that I can be.
mhm.
My definition of being a best mother is being able to share certain experiences with my kids. So
Oh,
not
yeah.
all the time I can afford to get your designer bag, but if I plan and I save well, I want you to have that experience where you could walk into the most expensive store and be shocked to say walking out with something.
Oh,
It might not be the most
well,
expensive thing, but you're walking out with something. And it's a beautiful thing for me to be able to give you that first memory. So in a way, it's like I'm teaching you, listen, when you get older, you have your family, and when you have your daughters or your sons, give them these experiences because we're only here for a short time. A lot of times people work hard, they make money, but they don't understand the importance of money. Like I was saying
that
this
is
morning,
true.
when you make money, it's to pay, keep a roof over your head, to pay for your insurance and all that stuff. But at the same time, you have to make yourself happy. And whether it's treating yourself to something, because we are only here for a period of time. If you just work and never and make that money and just save it and never do anything to make yourself or the people that you love feel good, you're
Mm,
gonna leave this world and everything that you have worked for and left behind, somebody else is gonna be enjoying it.
that is
So
true.
don't wait for other people to come and make you feel incredible. Create to make yourself feel incredible. That's all I'm saying.
That is true. Hey, 151. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Demo said, I'm happy keeping my money in the bank. No, that is true.
Watching my money make money for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I feel like what helps though is like when you create a budget and you just save for it, honestly. Cause like I don't like when my bank account goes down. Sometimes I'll just ask my mom, how much what's my balance? What's my balance? What's my balance? I remember one time she told my balance, I'm like, what happened to my money? And she was like, oh, she invested it for me. I was like, okay, fine. That's fine, right? So I found what helps with me, honestly, is just like saving, right? Like saving. And once you save, like if you start saving, right? Like I started a challenge in September. I was saving $10 a day, right? If and when I started that saving challenge, I knew what I wanted to spend the money on. So I knew what that money was for. So it's like you save for it. So yes, it is in your bank account, but if you do wind up spending it, you don't feel bad because like you spent it on what you saved it for, if that makes sense. I feel like for me, it's more so nerve-wracking or anxiety inducing when you spend the money, but you had no plans of spending it because it's like, oh, did I just waste this? I didn't need it. That's when you start second guessing yourself. But like if you save for this intended purpose or for this specific thing, it's okay a little bit, I feel like. But yeah. Um well, daughter seems really smart, so get paid and buy mom a bag. No, for sure, for sure. Don't worry. One day Queen Mother will be able to go in the store and she will be able to get her own stuff. Like I feel like I like the thing about my mom, I don't know. I don't know if she'll ever I feel like one day she'll let me do it, but I guess I'll have to be making a certain income for her, right? To let me do that. But the one thing I notice about my mom, sometimes I'll buy her something. Like I don't think she would accept that, right? But I know one day she'll accept it. So one day when I'm making the big bucks, she'll accept it, right? Because I feel like if I save my money, like obviously I could afford to do that, but I feel like but sometimes I feel like if I do that, like then all my money is gone, right? So my mom doesn't like that, and I wouldn't like that too. Why buy something if all your money would be gone? That means you couldn't afford it, right? I remember I forgot the name of there's this famous influencer, right? Who's on social media, and she made a video one time and she was like, if you cannot buy a designer item 10 times over or 3 times over, that means you can't afford it. She said that, and that's actually pretty valid. If you cannot buy a designer item 3 times over, that means you can't afford it, right? So, the way to get around
Saying how you saved your money for a whole year.
No, that's what I'm saying, that's different. So, yeah, as I was gonna say, so to clarify for me, I can't buy a designer item at this moment of time 3 times over. However, I saved money for that, right? So in the future, when you see I buy a designer item, don't be like, "Mia, you're rich." Be like, "Mia, you saved money for it, and this is what I decided to buy," right? Because I will do that in the future, right? So, you could say that, right? Because I saved for it, but, like, in general, let's say if you don't save for it, I feel like that creator is more so speaking from the context of saying, if you did not save to buy this item, if you cannot buy it 3 times over, don't buy it, right? So, yeah, I could save my money and buy a designer item for my mom, but after my mom will know that, like, "Hey, oh, you don't have money." When I get to the point one day, I will get to the point where I will be able to buy my mom a designer item, where I will be able to get us our own fancy, pretty house, right? Where I'll be able to book my mom vacations whenever she want to go on the vacation, when I'll be able to book us vacation whenever we want to go on vacation. And then that's the point in time when my mom will be able to accept those designer items, guys, without her paying me back or without her not wanting to accept it. At this moment of time, even though I feel like I could get the designer item for my mom, right? If I save for it, I don't want to say I'm not going to do it. I want to say my mom's probably not going to accept it because she know I just saved for it. She knows I can't really afford to do that. The day I can afford to do that is the day I'll be able to get my mom the designer item. I'll be able to get us our house and I'll be able to plan her vacations whenever she want to go on the vacation without having to save for it, right? Because it'll just be in my pay. It'll be I'll be able to afford it in my paycheck like that, right? So it's different, right? Being able to afford something and be able to save for something is completely different things, I feel like. So yeah. D support said, can people train their brain to become happier over time? That's a really good question. I feel like some psychologists would say yes, some may say no. That's a really good one. I really don't know the answer to. I feel like yeah, a little bit because it was a one of the people from the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. She did an interview. I don't know what her name was, but she was a snowboarder, and she said she literally trained fear out of her mind. I need whatever she did to do that, right? But that's what she said. She says she trained fear out of her mind. So when she does like those super scary stunts now where she goes up in the sky and flips on a snowboard, she's not scared. She's just calm the whole way through because she says she trained her brain to do that. So she could, if that's true, if she could have done that, I think it's possible to train your brain to be happy. I'd rather train the fear out of it though. Do you like to wear skirts? Yeah, maxi skirts. Love maxi skirts. Really, really fun, really comfortable. watching out for bad activity. Thank you, King of the Weather, for doing your great job as moderator. Really appreciate it. Hey, Eric, how you doing today? D Support said, what psychological habits help people maintain happiness? I don't know. I don't know. If I learned that in psychology, I forgot, honestly. I got a bachelor's of science in psychology, not a bachelor's of arts. Always have to say that. Bachelor of science is more so the writing, research, and statistics side of stuff. Bachelor's of arts, I guess you would have learned about that, but dopamine, maybe that one. It's not a psychological habit, but dopamine is the naturally occurring drug that occurs in your body when you're happy. So if you train yourself to always experience dopamine, I guess that'll help a little bit. But yeah. Eric said your nails maintenance is attractive. Thank you so much, guys. Like my nails. I do like my nails as well. We are growing out my nails again a little bit because these two broke. I feel like I'm gonna stop pointing it out because I think if I don't point it out, you guys won't notice it because like you kind of don't notice it, right? Like you don't see a nail that looks short, right? So I'm gonna stop pointing it out. But yeah. What's my age? It's the glory of God to conceal a matter and the honor of kings and queens to seek out the answer. Welcome, welcome, love positive. Glad you could be here. If you want to know my age, go to my YouTube homepage, click playlist, and watch my birthday playlist videos or my Washington, D.C. birthday adventure videos. And my pleasure, D Support. Thank you so much for asking the insightful, engaging questions. So I have 10% on low battery mode. I feel like the battery lasted a decent amount of time. I did start the stream at 100%, but I did 3 streams today and it's at 10%. The battery's supposed to last like 48 hours on my phone, but I do know with the live streaming that live streaming does like pull the battery from my phone a lot, but I'm not 100% upset at it just because I have done some pretty long streams. I've been streaming since 8 AM. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 hours is not bad, I guess, for the battery to be dying now on low battery mode, but we'll watch it and see. But yeah, I have some time if you guys want to my battery. It'll probably give me like 5 to 10 minutes more. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, I could continue to answer it. But I do hope y'all enjoyed it. It was definitely a 3-part series with the streams. As I said, I started at 8 AM the live stream. The stream started at the gym, and then the second live stream is started at the gym, but I also did color in my coloring book. With your question, King of the Weather, your phone has 16% charging. Okay, very nice, very nice. So this coloring book is called Unique Luna's Coloring Book. If you'd like to purchase it, it's on Amazon. Go to my YouTube homepage, click links. A link will take you directly to Amazon. All proceeds goes towards paying off my student loan debt. And then the third live stream was honestly just a chat session where you guys were asking me some questions and I was answering it for y'all. What do you do when you're outside? It depends, King of the Weather, on like what was the intended goal or purpose for going outside. In the winter time, we go outside only when we have to go outside. In the summertime, that's when we'll go outside for no reason at all more often. But depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I go outside to go to the grocery store. Sometimes I go outside to go to my grandmother's house. Sometimes I go outside to go to work with my mom. Sometimes I go outside to go to the doctor. So yeah, it depends. For tomorrow's live stream, Queen Mother may predominantly do that stream for you guys. I don't know. I may cancel it. I may not. We'll see. We'll see if my mom wants to stream tomorrow for you guys because I have to get an MRI, guys. So the time I have to get the MRI, it will conflict with the live streaming schedule. And we are not bringing no metal there. I saw Final Destination. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. So I'm not risking nothing. So it's either my mom will stream for you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I might I can stream for you guys, but it's either the stream will cut off early or my mom will stream for you guys or the stream will be canceled. As always, if the stream is canceled, I will let you guys know before then via a community post on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Alrighty? So yeah, what do you do when you're sick? I lie down and let my mom take care of me. When I'm at school, I had to take care of myself. That sucked. So I let my mom take care of me when I'm sick. I'll do nothing. Nothing at all, which is great. I don't like being sick, but that's when my mom just let me lie down, and that's when she takes care of me, so it's great. So it's weird. I don't like being sick. My mom takes care of me, so which is cool when I'm sick. Like she does everything for me. My back hurt. Come, let me rub your back. I want a hug. Come, let me give you a hug. I'm hungry. Here's some food. She still does that now, but like it's cooler when I'm sick for some reason, even though I don't like being sick. God, please don't make me sick now. But yeah, So, guys, thank you so much for being on today's live stream. Thank you, King of the Weather. Thank you, D Support. Thank you, Love Positive. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, you. Thank you, H Town. Thank you, Demo. Thank you, 1151. Thank you, Gigi Cat, for being on today's live stream. Thank you, Adventure Canada. Thank you, Memphis, for being on today's live stream. Thank you, Grayson, for being on today's live stream. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Tom, for being on live stream. Thank you, King of the Weather, for the donation to Uniquely Mia channel for today's live stream. Really, really appreciated it. Thank you, Peep, for being here. Thank you, Pillow, for being here. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all Uniquely Mia 6,000 supporters, those who are on the stream today and those who are not on the live stream today. I do hope y'all enjoyed it. Last question from King of the Weather: are you scared of fireworks? Honestly, I've never really heard fireworks. Like, I've seen them, but I've never heard them go off. I feel like hearing them go off could be a jump scare. But I guess I've always been inside when they've, because I've seen fireworks, I think, in Canada when we went there. Check out my Canada videos if you guys haven't. I think I put the fireworks in that video. So I would say no, but I feel like if I hear them go off, I'd be scared of them. So yeah. But thank you guys for being here. Definitely enjoyed the live stream. I do hope y'all enjoyed it as well. I'll see you guys soon, and stay positive, guys. If you want more of Uniquely Mia after the stream, go watch some of my full nutritional YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and prior live streams. YouTube says I have more than 2,000 videos posted. That's a lot of videos. So you should never be missing Uniquely Mia. I love the live streams, love chatting with y'all, but I got a lot of content, so you guys should never say I miss Uniquely Mia, because if you miss Uniquely Mia, go and watch one of my videos that I have on the channel already. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See y'all soon.